I want you to stop and imagine a world in which there is no money. The type of world to where if you want something, you must either trade another good for it or work directly for the person you're trying to obtain this good or service from. So you must either work for them or provide a service or trade another good. This is known as a barter economy. In a barter economy, there is no money, and you must exchange goods and services as a means of payment. So let's kind of look at what this world might look like. So let's assume that you work for, say, a beet farmer in a barter economy. Well, how is that farmer going to pay you for your time, for your service? Well, he's going to pay you with the only thing he has to trade. He's going to pay you in beets. Now, is the only thing you want in this world beets? Probably not. You probably want to have a house. You probably want to possibly go to college. You probably want to have other types of food other than just beets. So now you have to take beets, these beets that have been given to you or exchanged for your service, for your labor, for your time. You have to now take these beets and trade for other goods or services. So imagine you want to go to college and you want to pay for college. Well, how are you going to pay for it? Well, you're going to trade the only thing you have. So now you are trying to trade beets for a service such as education or college. But what if the other party doesn't want the beets? How would you be able to trade with somebody who doesn't want to actually have beets? That could make things a bit difficult in this barter economy. See, in a barter economy, households, they own all of the primary resources. Well, in just about every economy, the households own all of the primary resources. These resources are quickly known as land, labor, capital, and management. And the households basically own all these. They're the ones who have the land. They're the ones who provide the labor. They have the capital, and they are the management. So then they take these primary resources and they supply these to businesses. The households supply businesses with these primary resources of land, labor, capital, and management. These businesses, on the other hand, they need the resources. So how are they going to pay for these resources? Well, in a barter economy, these businesses supply products and services to households as payment. So if we look over here at this diagram, we can see that businesses, they provide goods and services to the households as means of payment for the households providing these primary resources to the businesses. So in a barter economy, that's how it works. You simply trade resources, go from the households to the businesses, for products that come out of the businesses and go to the households. But do we live in a barter economy? Well, we actually don't. But we do live in a monetary economy. In a monetary economy, we actually do have money, and money is a medium for exchange. So now let's think about the way things kind of more realistically are. You go ahead and you work for that same beet farmer in a monetary economy. That beet farmer then pays you with money. And then you take that money that's paid to you and you go and buy goods and services. This allows basically you to trade beets for college, or a service of working for a beet farmer for college, because that money allows a easy medium of exchange to now take what the money you earned working as a service or providing a service can now be transferred over to money being spent on another service. So if we're going to build upon this barter system, this monetary economy is actually just building upon the barter system. And in the monetary economy, households are still providing those resources. They're still providing these primary resources of land, labor, capital, and management. But instead of receiving products and other services for their resources, they're actually paid with money for their resources. Businesses, they are still obtaining resources from these households, and they are now paying for those resources, and these businesses are still selling their products and services, but now they're being paid for these products and services. So if we look at this diagram over here, it looks very similar to the barter system diagram we have right here. we see that the households are still on the same side, businesses are still on the same side. Households are still providing these primary resources. But instead of just receiving goods and services in return, they're actually getting paid. They're getting paid rent, wage, interest, and profits. So now we have these households, they're still providing their resources, but they're getting paid with some type of money in return. Whereas on the other side, these businesses, they are still providing goods and services. But rather than getting paid with resources, they're actually getting paid with money from the households. So what happens is households provide their resources and receive payment for those resources in the monetary economy. Businesses still provide goods and services, but households actually pay for it now. So that leads us into this term of national product and national income. National product is the monetary value of all of the consumer expenditures. So the businesses provide goods and services, households pay for those goods and services, and what the households are paying is known as consumer expenditures. So the summation, or the total amount of consumer expenditures, is known as this national product. It's the monetary value associated with all of the goods and services that are being provided by the businesses. The other term that we have is national income. National income is the total amount, or the summation of the amount that the households are receiving for providing their primary resources. So the households provide their primary resources and they get paid, and that payment is in terms of rent, wages, interest, and profits. So the summation of the rent, wages, interest, and profits that the households are receiving for their primary resources is known as this national income. So the summation of all consumer expenditures, national product. The summation of all of the rent, wages, interest, and profits that the households are receiving for providing their resources is known as the national income.